Orangutan did it. The apes are going to the Global Championship 2025. And not just that, they'll be playing the Gauntlet, the easier route straight to the PMGC Grand Finals. Massive congratulations to them for winning the India Showdown, and they absolutely deserve it. This team has been taking the Indian region by storm lately. Once known as the cursed roster, they are now dominating every regional tournament like it's nothing.
But OG को आप देखिए, इन्होंने समझ लिया, इन्होंने मान लिया, इन्होंने ठान लिया कि ये दिन, ये मैच, वो ट्रॉफी हमारी हमसे कोई छीन के जा नहीं सकता और ड्रिफ्टिंग भी हुई है आखिरकार. थोड़ा लेट आए हैं लेकिन सही वक्त में आए हैं.
So today, let's take a look back at their Grand Finals run, from being called the cursed roster to finally becoming the champions. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoy and hype the video as much as you can. Now coming into the Grand Finals, Orangutan were already one of the favorites to win it all. Casters, analysts, everyone had their eyes on them to lift the trophy. But this time, it wasn't going to be as easy as their previous victory. A global slot was on the line, and standing in their way were some of the most informed teams of India. Soul, K9, True Rippers, 8-Bit and many more. The first match was on Rondo, the newest addition to PUBG Mobile Esports, a map where teams have the chance to grab some insane points. Thanks to the recall system, Orangutan dropped in dancing and right from the start, faced the Titans, Team Soul, their very first battle of the Grand Finals.
Looking to farm a couple of more finishes, they've already got one. Maybe Legit could be next, but you can never let Legit out as Atanki. He's taken quite some smacking there, but Legit, he's pretty low. And AKOP gets the deed done. Joker still waiting. He's got that third-party perspective for himself. But right now, Joker gets that S12K, will reload as OG look for an all-out brawl.
OG, all the players on top, and look at this drop. Atanki, he's not able to find the proper connection with Joker. He was only able to get one in return.
Orangutan completely overpowered Team Soul, picking up 3 eliminations. But Knuckle stay away from the fight, giving himself the chance to recall his entire team back. Skips from Cincinnati Kids tries to block down Orangutan's exit, but AKOP's brilliant nade takes him down. Orangutan then enters the zone, but a rotational clash against Mad Kings completely ruined their match. Wizgod, being the last man standing, couldn't hold on for long, and Orangutan bow out at the 10th place, but with 7 solid eliminations in the bag. Now match 2 was where Orangutan stepped up, and from here on, they never looked back. Aru and Wizgod started off with a brilliant sneaky play, ambushing Clutch God early on. A quick elimination and they returned back to their drop. Now for the rest of the match, the zone completely favored Orangutan. They held school brilliantly and grabbed eliminations throughout without being afraid of the circle shift. They wiped out Nebula and K9 who had slammed into the school and then took down the teams rotating out of the apartments to grab the win.
Game, even Soul's not going to stand a lot of chances, as Joker will be eliminated from the game soon too. He was able to put in a bit of that hurt against True Rippers, but it's not going to do anything. 4 frags already on the board, and OG, what a crucial game it was, and they come out on top. Fantastic stuff, but still Hydro, the man's fighting back, he's trying his best, but the nade! He was so well tossed, it's gonna do the deed and the job at the same time. OG, dominant affair from the boys. This is what you like to see from this banner, and once again, they're back in the race, 23 points in just this one game.
Match 3 began with a drop clash against AX. Orangutan took down their players one at a time to completely wipe them out. But the fight dragged on till phase 3, which made Orangutan's rotations a lot more slower. Luckily, the circle wasn't that far away from them, so they made it in without much problems. They drove straight towards Yasnaya and took control of the C building, right at the center of the circle. Mysterious 4 were the first to push onto Orangutan. Snowjaw did manage to take down Atanki but couldn't hold on for long either. Orangutan kept rotating around Yasnaya, clearing out players to make their way into the circle, and eventually faced Godlike in the final fight, claiming their 2nd consecutive win.
Final 3, and with Aru, with that opener
Oh my
on 2
goodness.
cock, maybe they are starting to dream of a chicken dinner. Jonathan, he has to play a key role. He's got that high ground advantage. He's got to keep everybody at bay. Right now, his eyes pinched on the players of White Walkers. Simp, he's hiding in the corner. Somebody needs to trigger that revive, and Jonathan,
They're done.
he goes big. White Walkers, they're eliminated, and now it is down to Hero Extreme Godlike taking on Orangutan.
Oh my goodness, OG looking for the back-to-back, but they were picked off. Aru gets sprayed down by Sim, but now a trade fire coming from WizGod. They tied the series, and now Hero Extreme Godlike, only Admino remains. He's surrounded, AKOP from the outer flank, WizGod from outer open as well. They know exactly where he is. The nade comes in, and OG gets the back-to-back winner chicken dinner from an impossible recovery. How the hell did they survive and clutch the chicken dinner? How did they do this? This is unheard of.
Now match 4 saw a military circle, and this time Orangutan dropped at Milta power. AKOP got picked off early during a rotation by Godlike, but Orangutan later avenged him, wiping out the 2 remaining Godlike players during the rotation. However, they couldn't do much from here on either. Nebula challenged Orangutan for a zone entry and took them down with ease. Now match 5 was a comeback. Orangutan took it slow as always, prioritizing position, and when phase 5 pushed them just outside the edge, they transitioned themselves into gatekeepers, picking off teams trying to rotate into the zone. Orangutan wiped Mad Kings, took down White Walkers, and even third-partied VS, but then Team Soul third-partied them, completely ruining their game.
As Soul, they've got the man advantage in the fight. Someone needs to help Joker. He's left in a 1-on-2 scenario, but Joker, he fights the first. On the verge of converting the second guy as well, but Mafia, he's playing this fight pretty passive. He's smart, he knows how to lure out Joker, but it still does not matter. Joker single-handedly manhandles them, and for Soul, now they're set up for success, but OG, the remaining 2 players that are taken down extremely low. I think he pushes up, but that nade's gonna do the deed, as Knuckles gonna be the one to fight the opener. Aru, the only man standing for OG. Glimmers of hope starting to fade away, the flashbang. That's gonna be the bright light that OG's looking forward to.
He just lobs out a stun to try and slow down the players of Soul, but can't really do much over here, except his face, try to go for a fight in the end. But Soul, a brilliant winner chicken dinner secured on the map of Miramar.
Now the last match of the day was a disaster. Orangutan engaged in a clash with God's Reign, initiated the fight well, but couldn't keep it up. At the end of day 1, Orangutan stood strong at the top of the table with 70 total points, followed by Team Soul, just 4 points behind, and True Rippers, trailing by 26 points. Now day 2 for Orangutan was the day of holding on to the top spot. Consistency today mattered the most, and the first match of the day was the start Orangutan exactly needed. Rondo, the map of high pointer games. Aru faced an early drop clash with 3 godlike players. He managed to take down Jonathan but couldn't withstand the pressure from the rest. He was instantly recalled by his team, and Orangutan went back to their usual playstyle, holding center and collecting eliminations from the ongoing rotations. Orangutan then spots Vasista Esports and AX clashing while entering the zone. They third-partied at the perfect moment and picked up a bunch of eliminations, and that too without losing a single player.
Confirmed as well, and now Pro B, the man to the back lines on the high ground. I highly doubt he can do anything. He's able to find the first man against AX, and that's not a good news for them. AX now down to just a 3-man squad, and recall towers, even they've been disabled, so AX, they cannot even go for the recall anymore. In a problematic shoes, AX is, and OG, now they're gonna take the battle against Team Aryan, but WizGod, he gets instantly traded. Still the man advantage in the hands of OG. All they need to do is get rid of Henry.
And this is where the fight does not even end. Even K9 from the sidelines, they want to close in. Team Aryan down to Henry, their final member surviving, but Orangutan have to be quick on those revives, and now also have to be looking towards getting inside the circle.
K9 then tried to initiate a fight with Orangutan, but their controlled gameplay gave them no chance. K9 were forced to back off, losing 3 of their players in the process. It then all came down to a 3v3v3 for the win.
Orangutan still alive, and suddenly Delta, he finishes off Kyolamau, leaving Jelly quite exposed, but this time Justin, he does not miss his mark, and he knows where Atanki is. Jelly being shot from the sidelines, exercising extreme caution. He has to do it for his team. GDR absolutely pumped in the situation, but Atanki, he's really eyeing out for that finish. OG know they've got the minimum points. Now they want all those finishes. That will be that added bonus. Surely will be looking to breach past that 90 marker in this one. Neo down on his knees, and Atanki out of options. In a wee while, he'll be out in the open. Justin, he's got his number. Delta might have some visuals, and there you go. Delta getting that final nail in the coffin, and GDR kick things off with an amazing chicken dinner.
A second place with 13 eliminations, extending Orangutan's lead even further. But the next two matches, complete disasters. A 15th place finish and a 14th, with 0 eliminations in both, meaning no points at all from these two matches. The lead was still there, but the momentum had shifted. They had to build it again. So Orangutan this time, instead of going for their usual positional play, went for eliminations. The fourth match of the day, Orangutan faced a drop clash against AX, this time in the Water City. AX decided to back off and were caught completely off guard by Seoul. Orangutan on the other side completed their looting phase and decided to rotate towards Rozhok, where they faced White Walkers.
Out of fight, and guess what? They found a second pick as well as White Walkers gets completely dismantled. Arjun finds a knock, but here comes the cover fire.
Wow.
AKOP supports him down, and White Walkers down to his one last player left.
Orangutan took control of Rozhok and kept stacking up eliminations, not through direct fights, but by perfectly third-partying from a distance. And soon, they were already at 10 eliminations. But a reckless push from Mysterious 4 turned out to be Orangutan's demise.
Mysterious 4, they get sprayed down a little bit too much, but now AKOP, he overextended, he got pushed, and here comes Mysterious 4. They go in for the snap, WizGod taken down, Aru caught out in the open, and only Atenki remains. He's able to defend, but the mistakes has been made. Mysterious 4 has chipped them down low, and now Omega from the side of Mysterious 4, left stranded out in the open, and Atenki goes for the spray. He gets Omega, but it remains, and that's the timing that Godlike has been looking for as they go in for the slam. They pick him up, and just like that, OG will fall. Same can be said for Mysterious 4.
Now the fifth match of the day wasn't impressive either. Aru got picked off early, and then the rest of the team couldn't survive much either, eliminated at the 8th place without any eliminations. Now going into the 6th and final match of the day, Orangutan had to end it well to maintain a healthy lead and the momentum. They went for their usual positional play, securing the central zone and building their game around it from there. They kept shutting down every team trying to enter the zone, and soon it turned out into a 4v2v1 situation. Orangutan had all the advantage in their hands.
And especially being on the lower grounds does not make their lives any easier. But do you feel like Devotee could play a spoil spot over here?
He can. I mean,
No,
definitely.
WizGod knows.
If he
WizGod.
takes out, see, he doesn't.
He doesn't. Oh my god. Devotee goes after him and he missed those shots. WizGod finally waking up from his slumber. He has to play this one quite carefully. K9 also hearing all those gunshots, those commotions. Devotee not having that confidence, and now really at a very low HP as WizGod. Little mistake, but instantly makes up for it as K9 this time traversing around AKOP.
They are done. Spotted out, position marked, surrounded from every single direction, and OG, because they weren't part of these conflicts the entire game, are gonna have a lot of utility to work with. Look at that, nade after nade. The players are crumbling, but even then they are looking for those openings. Aru knocked out, Beast looking for one more. He's trying to isolate those angles, but this is too much to ask from this young lad. K9 Esports, they have done their level best, winning the chicken dinner right now. It's a close to impossible task. Too much utility into the hands of OG, too many bodies to commit into this fight. They've secured Ninja Boy, Beast is gonna be next, and there you have it. The Apes walk away with a much needed chicken dinner in the last match of the day.
Day 1 ended with disappointment, but day 2 ended with a banger. Orangutan walked away with a massive lead, 120 total points, 19 points ahead of K9 in 2nd place, and 30 ahead of Seoul. At this point, Orangutan looked unstoppable. With just one final day left, taking the top spot from them seemed almost impossible. But the comebacks, the chokes, those miraculous plays, and those mistakes which can never be forgotten often happens on the final day. K9 and Seoul were ready to go all in to snatch the top spot from Orangutan. Day 3, the final day, would decide it all. Who gets the PMGC Gauntlet slot? These last 6 matches would settle it. For Orangutan, the mission was simple. Stay consistent, play their game, and hold the top till the very end. The first map, Rondo. The duo of Orangutan faced off against Seoul's trio in an intense drop clash. Goblin and Joker were taken down early, but Legit struck back, knocking out WizGod. However, Orangutan wasn't backing off. The rest of the squad rushed in for support. With WizGod recalled and back in action, they eliminated Legit to secure their 3rd elimination of the match. But that was pretty much it. Orangutan couldn't turn this strong start into a big game. During the rotations, they were picked off one after another and eventually got eliminated in 11th place, securing just 4 eliminations. Not the start of the day they had hoped for. But things were about to get even worse. The next 3 games were a nightmare for Orangutan. Matches they and their fans would rather forget. Match 2 of the day, 11th with no eliminations. Match 3, 12th with 2 eliminations, and match 4, 15th with no eliminations. These 3 matches combined, Orangutan secured only 2 overall points. While on the other side, K9 and Soul maintained their consistency, and as a result, the table had a massive change. Orangutan slipped to the 3rd place, 4 points behind K9 and 5 points behind Soul. With just 2 games left to Miramas, Orangutan had to step up. Match 5 begins. Orangutan were the first ones to drop, completely changing their game style. They carried on an edge gameplay, picking off teams trying to rotate into the circle. They then held their position till the very end, picking off players off guard, and at the end, it all came down to a 4v2v2. Orangutan with all the advantage, the manpower and the position.
Helping him inside of the fight, especially when we thought OG's fizzling away from the overall standings. They strike back when the game was needed the most, but even K9 Esports, they're not too far back. K9, even if they get in the top 2, that's going to mean quite a lot, but Omega's been eliminated. K9, they get eliminated in the top 3. It's OG's game to lose. If they lose out of this game against Mad Kings, it will be disheartening, but there we go. Mad Kings, they're doing a good job, at least getting those knocks, but it's just one man standing. He can't really do a lot. And this one player is doing a lot of damage, but OG, they still get the game, no matter what.
A massive one for Orangutan. The most important one. Orangutan were back to the top of the table, but they can't relax yet. K9 with their 2nd place finish in match 5 were just 3 points behind Orangutan. Now the last match of the Grand Finals would decide it all, whether it's Orangutan or K9. The 6th match and the final one of BMSD. Both Orangutan and K9 took it slow, but K9's luck gets picked off during rotations, while on the other side, Atanki from Orangutan gets taken down as well. Both teams lose a player, but for Orangutan, it didn't end here. Cincinnati Kids decides to take a head-on clash with them, and to make things even worse, FS third parties Orangutan.
Widespread and a compound, but they have to wrap things out. But seems like CK, they are going to back out from this fight, knowing that the zone is not in their favor. There's still a lot of space inside towards the western side. But the problem is FS, oh my goodness, Wizguard was picked off. Soulmate gets the knock. And they need to go in for the reset here. Aru was able to kind of refrag as well. 2 versus 2. This fight getting a little bit too long, and FS is looking to try and pincer onto its OG. The counter nade from Aru to try and stop Roman here. The nades comes in. Aru gets scouted out. OG, it is over. Down to one player left for OG. Can they survive this?
OG cannot afford to lose this. Championship is on the line. That's not towards the global championship. It's on the line, and OG's collapsing. The team on the first, they're getting picked off. And then you can see K9 getting a bit confident as well.
Oh, the nade!
But OG, luckily enough, the nade's not going to penetrate, so it's all good. The nade is still on the outside of the wall. Another nade. If it's tossed right on the mark, then maybe things can be a little bit different. And that's going to find the re-knock. And maybe this will be the go call being made for FS Esports. Another nade tossed through that window. Is that going to be the end? And yes, it will be! OG eliminated! Oh my god, 147 points!
Orangutan bows out with a total of 147 points, which means K9, now as a trio alive, needs just 6 more points to snatch the top spot from Orangutan and lift the trophy. But then what happened next must be one of the worst moments for K9 and their fans.
That they need. Is this gonna happen? No, but Kratos goes in for the stab. That's the first dog. Looks for the second. K9, they're fumbling. Ninja Boy, last player left. OG might be able to defend this.
Yeah, they've got too much on the plate. K9, you need to win this. Ninja Boy, be careful of your surrounding. There's a guy right behind you. In that container, Ninja Boy's also getting shot at from the front. This battle, Ninja Boy loses it. K9, they fumble. And OG will be your champions for the Showdown 2025!
This have to be one of the most dominant performances by any team in the Indian region. Though they almost choked in the last day, but their game throughout this tournament was top-notch. For now, if there's any team from India who deserves the gauntlet slot for PMGC, it's undoubtedly Orangutan.
On another trophy at that time, they said we aren't satisfied with this. I hope they are going to be satisfied, and it is the cue.
OG!